Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Cave Chatter. I'm your host, Justin. On November 9th, 2021, I'm here with Cameron. How you doing today, Cameron?
Doing good, doing all right. It's Tuesday, so I've already recovered from Cowboys beatdown this weekend. Neither of us had our best weekends in terms of our teams, but like I said, it's Tuesday now. We're on to the next one.
Yeah, it was pretty embarrassing to
I
watch
did.
Jordan Love, and you beat me in fantasy. Yes,
I was gonna say
I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you to that punch.
That's all right. I'll just reiterate it because you've been talking smack all week, saying how you're gonna beat me. I'm the number one team in our league,
and
now,
I will let the people know that the only reason you beat me
that I'm 8-1
is because Josh Allen got 9 points and forgot how to play football.
That's all right. I could tell you this. I could do the same thing for my team.
What?
Devontae Adams only had 4 points.
I told you that was going to happen.
Derek Carr just decided to keep throwing the ball to the Giants for some reason. He decided to fumble at the goal line when they were going in for the tying score. I mean, things happen. It's fantasy football.
Yeah. Well, I am glad we're able to get the show on. Today is going to be a little different than most formats for our listeners out there. We are trying, I think this is our second episode just over Discord.
Video.
Yeah, over video. So it might have its kinks in it here and there. But we are practicing this out, trying to be able to get out more content to you guys for sure. We want to make sure we can get more than one episode out a week.
Yeah,
and
that way we're not having to travel every time we have to put something out.
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier, and then we can learn, like, even when I'm on the road, we can do something quick. So this is going to make things a lot more efficient, and we still are going to have our one episode when we're in the studio or in the man cave recording. But this week,
otherwise we'd have to change our name.
This week has been a shorter week, so we're going to try this out and see how it goes. So really, Cameron, I have you on the show here today. Kind of just get your ideas on what is going through your mind so far through what are we on, week 9? Week 10 starting. So what is your thoughts on through week 10? What players are you ready to buy high or sell high, or buy low, sell low?
Well, to kind of start out on the first player that you can buy low, Saquon Barkley. I would imagine if you have Saquon Barkley in any of your leagues, you're probably pretty frustrated with him right now. I have him in only one of my leagues. Luckily, though, I have Devontae Booker. Mm-hmm. So I kind of got pretty lucky that I had his handcuff there, and Devontae Booker has done really well with Saquon out there. But Saquon this year, I'm trying to pull it up real quick, Saquon has only played in 4 games this year.
Yes.
Obviously, he had an injury in week 1 and then played 3 full games. He came back, played 3 full games. Then he got hurt in the Dallas game. That was back in week 5. Remember when he rolled his ankle back in that game?
Yeah.
And he's been out ever since.
He has been kind of frustrating. That's for sure.
This is kind of what you get with Saquon, unfortunately. Whenever he's in there, he's a freaking fantasy monster. But it's just about staying on the field. Obviously, last year, he only played 2 games. So if you drafted Saquon, you pretty much screwed because a lot of people were drafting him high, especially last year. This year, maybe fantasy managers were a little more cautious. But what I see with Saquon is when he's in there, so the last 2 full games before he got hurt, Cowboys, he had 21 points followed by 28 points.
Mm-hmm.
That 28-point game was against New Orleans, who has been one of the best run defenses in the league.
Which, to add on to that, he didn't have more than 60 yards, and he still got 28 points. That just shows you how versatile he is.
Well, yeah, and in those two big games that he had 6 catches coming out of the backfield and then 5 catches coming out of the backfield. He had a touchdown in each of those games. So they have a bye this week, so that's going to help a lot too because obviously, they've been looking like he would be able to go this week potentially. Next week, they're pretty sure that he's going to be playing. So not having him this week as well a lot of managers, and obviously these are all just for redraft 1-year leagues. If this is a dynasty, if you're only in a dynasty league, this maybe doesn't apply to you. I would hope you have more patience with. But
I have way more patience than I do with my players.
Yeah, seriously. What did you
I got
Derrick Henry the week after he got hurt?
I'm a dog world GM. If you can't produce now, you're out. This is how I am.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. But I mean, you got to kind of.
I'm like the Belichick
kind of
fantasy football.
The what? Oh, the Belichick. Yeah. There you go.
You fumbled. You ain't playing next game.
You got to be ruthless. That's how you win.
That's right.
Super Bowls. But you kind of on this one, you kind of go. You gotta. There's another kind of like deeper, like where you have to understand, like how many times do you have a player on your team where they keep getting hurt? I mean, think of Christian McCaffrey. How many times those two guys have been traded in our league because it's just so frustrating having them on your team and not being able to put them.
Well, now Dalvin Cook's messing with that. He's been a domestic abuse victim.
Oh yeah, so I actually read that. It happened last year. It was, I don't know why they call it that. It wasn't like his wife or anything. It was somebody broke into his house and maced him.
That doesn't sound like domestic abuse.
I don't know. That's what his agent said. Yeah. Just saying what I read. But
let's get back on the Barkley.
That was that was a weird story that just came out today.
Your internet is about as good as your fantasy team in Game of Inches.
Is it not working good right now? What are you talking about?
I mean, it's working. Kind of like your team, though, every now and then.
I'm 8-1 in our Yahoo League that you care so much about.
Well, out of the 3 leagues we're in, I'm ahead of you in 2 of them. So, mic drop.
Okay, so in one of them, I'm 8-1 in top of the league.
Well, I won that one last year, so I can't help it.
Okay, and in the other one, I'm literally tied. You lost last week, and I won, so we're tied. Our record.
I lost because
you have the tiebreaker on points. Yes, we have the same record, and in the other one, yes, you're better than me. My team is not producing.
Yeah. Keyword for not good.
No, I'm in some trades. We're getting around to it. I'll make the playoffs. But
so
you're in 6 leagues. It's hard to make the playoffs in every single league.
Yeah. So Barkley, so you're saying you're gonna spy low?
Yeah. Well, on top of that, his sorry, you made me pull off my screen that I had because I had to go look at our records. I had to challenge you on that. They also have really favorable schedule to close the season. So he's going to have a lot of good top 15 run defense matchups.
Yeah, they play the Cowboys again.
Directly coming out of the bye, they play the Bucks. So that's going to be, just be prepared if you do go out and you do try to make a move for him. That first week, probably not going to do much going up against the Bucks. But then after that, Philly, who has been a bottom 10 run D, Miami and LA Chargers in bottom 15. They also have Philly again and Chicago. So they've got a lot of good favorable matchups. That's another thing that I'm looking at whenever I'm saying to try to get Saquon is one of the things that I like to do whenever I'm trying to trade like in mid-season.
Mm-hmm.
What they're performing up to that point, right? Like up to this point.
You're going to have to repeat that for the listeners.
Did that cut out?
Yeah, big time.
Here, let me pull my microphone closer. Let me see if that helps out any. So what I was saying was one of the big things that you have to do, like or what I do at this point. We're almost at the midway point of the season.
Yeah.
Sometimes there really is no midpoint, but you get what I'm saying. Not about like what the player has done so far, but look at matchups that they've gone against and see if they've had a really tough schedule or if they've had an easy schedule, and then see what they have coming down the road. So, like I said, with Saquon, 5 of the last 8 matchups of the season are against bottom 15 run defenses.
Yeah.
That's really good. Like, that's very favorable matchups in at least 5 of the 8. And then that also goes right up into, hopefully, your fantasy playoff season or postseason.
Mm-hmm.
That he's going to have a couple favorable matchups in there. So that's why I just all that put together with the frustration that he caused out, the schedule coming down the road, I think that he is a very good buy low type of player.
Yeah.
I still Saquon, a manager might be a little stingy. Don't be afraid to give up some pieces. And obviously not any like big pieces that you have, but don't be afraid to spend a little to go get him, because I do think he's going to be a really good player down the stretch.
Yeah. I would agree with that. I traded him today in one of my leagues, but I got Tyreek Hill.
Well,
so
okay.
It was like a trade-off, He needed a running back, I needed a receiver.
That just doesn't seem smart for the guy anyway.
Well, Jamar Chase is on a bye.
Tyreek Hill's been so good.
Not really. He got 7 points last week.
That's all right. He's still Tyreek Hill. What did he have the week before?
Like 10. He hasn't been doing
As of a couple weeks, the number 2 receiver in all of fantasy. Right now, he's currently still the number 2 fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
He had a bad game last 7 points. The week before, he had 12 catches for 94 yards.
So
I think
the week before that,
you kind of deal with that trade.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, I probably did. His quarterback still sucks, so I don't know what's going on over there in Kansas City.
I'm not gonna argue with
Someone's got the hibby-jibbies. So
he's not been good.
A player I would say is very valuable because he's probably on most people's benches. He was on my bench. I traded him away. Is Devonta Smith from Philly?
Yeah,
I would say he, on my opinion, he's probably a player I would sell high right now, if non-dynasty leagues.
Sell high?
Yeah, sell high.
Right, not buy.
Not buy. No, I would never buy a Philly receiver.
No. Okay. I thought he actually last week he had the second most in PPR, second most fantasy points last week.
So yeah, I would sell him high real quick right now. Because he has his ups and downs in fantasy value. But that has a lot to do with they've been running the ball a lot.
That and they.
Yeah, I can't. You're frozen, man.
Yeah, as a quarterback, so that doesn't help him out much either.
Yeah, no one heard you talking trash about Jalen Hurts, but I'm assuming that's what you were saying.
Yeah, I said it doesn't help that he has a running back for a quarterback.
Well, at least his quarterback doesn't throw like a shot put.
Look, Dak had a bad game. Nobody's going to argue that. I'm not going to deny it. The whole team had a bad game.
But one thing I want to point out is they've pulled all the starters but their quarterback. That shows you how much they think he needs practice.
I don't know what to tell you. The only thing that I can think happened was that they tried to pull him. And Dak basically told McCarthy to shut up and go eat a donut.
Well, I said that to my coach once. It didn't work out well.
I'm familiar with that story. It typically doesn't whenever you're not in the National Football League making $40 million a year. That's typically the only time you can tell your coach to, go shove it.
Or if you're just better than him.
And I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just assuming that they were like, hey, Dak, let's get you out. And he's like, no, I'm playing terrible. Let me, go get some rhythm back. I'm assuming that's what happened. But
Yeah.
we'll never know.
I'm assuming they think he's probably going to be on the second team soon, so get some reps.
Oh, yeah. Let's put our $40 million quarterback on the bench. That's real smart.
Cooper Rush won.
Cooper Rush could start the next 3 games and go 3-0, like if Dak were hurt, and they would still put Dak back in, even if he was horrible.
Y'all are more than welcome to have Jordan Love. You can take him for free.
No. Trust me, no. That was awful.
Like
I don't know what I was watching out there.
You think Jalen Hurts is bad?
I really want to, and I should have done this before. I really want to go look up what PFF grade was from last week because I cannot imagine that it was very good.
Probably not. Probably not.
It looks like he had a 40 overall grade. Passing was 38. He actually ran the ball well, they say. He was a 61 rushing, but he had a 38 passing grade.
That's awful.
That's awful. I mean, that's anything below 50 is a backup.
So what do we do? What do you think? I mean, Rodgers is probably about to get suspended again.
Oh no! You didn't see what happened? They just came out with it. He just got fined.
$14,000, but
Yeah, 14.
They didn't say he could play yet, did they?
No, yeah, he's under the protocol. So as long as he
That's good to know.
As long as he doesn't test positive again, he's going to play Sunday.
Chubb also.
That's some big news that came out. Yeah, Nick Chubb, who coming off of I believe his second best game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Let me double check if I'm saying that correct. His best game of the year. Sorry, 137 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, bud. You have COVID.
Yeah.
You can't play.
Both my running backs are going through. No, they said there's a 24-hour window.
Right. He is vaccinated, so all he needs is 2 negative tests. If he just gets 2 back-to-back negative tests, he can play Sunday.
Yeah. So
if he doesn't, though, quick little note, Dearness Johnson is a must-add this week in fantasy.
And I just dropped
formats.
I just dropped him last week.
Well, most people did. I'm sure, yesterday.
Oh yeah, on Yahoo there were 16,000 teams that dropped him.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let me see what it says here. Dearness Johnson on Sleeper, he has 18,000 ads today.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's from leagues that don't have waiver
But then
wires.
David Montgomery is back. There's a bunch of big players coming back.
Yeah, that's another thing. So David Montgomery is back. He's another guy who, when I was going through and looking, he also has... Sorry?
You said he's also what?
He also has some pretty good matchups coming up down the stretch. Specifically, and this is where you definitely have to look, is look in your league when your playoff matchups are. If you're confident you can make the playoffs.
Yeah, I was about to say that. You have to make sure you can get there first.
Yes. For most leagues, you don't want to be playing championship week, that last week of the season, so which for this year is week 18.
Mm-hmm.
So take that out of account. 16 and 17, he's going up against 2 bottom 5 run defenses. David Montgomery is. So
jeez,
he could be a monster.
I have him in one of my leagues.
He's a guy who, if you're listening to this, might want to go try and get David Montgomery. If you're confident you have a good team and you're going to make the playoffs, I think he's going to be a king. He could be a guy who wins you your league.
Injuries have, and it's just a funny year because injuries have just affected a lot of the weeks 1 through 10. Like a lot.
Yeah, there's been a lot of injuries. Obviously, some guys have missed COVID.
And it's just back and forth. Yeah, Devontae, Aaron Rodgers. We had 3 star running backs go down. CMC, Henry, and Montgomery, and Barkley. So 4 star running backs. Cook, yeah.
Chubb has.
Kareem Hunt.
Kareem Hunt has been out.
Yeah, it's been a wild year.
Chase Edmonds just got hurt last week.
Yeah, he's out multiple weeks. It's been a wild year.
So Chase Edmonds has, they're saying he has a high ankle sprain.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No.
That means
he's
going to IR.
He's going to IR. They said 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So James Conner's stock.
If you have James Conner,
shot up.
which I actually have James Conner in a couple leagues, luckily.
You have him in Yahoo League?
No, not in our Yahoo League. I have him in a couple of Dynasty. Oh, sorry. One of the leagues I had him in was my Guillotine League.
I had a league. My league I was undefeated in. I was 6-0.
Mm-hmm.
Or 7-0 or whatever, 6-0, and Derrick Henry went down, and now I'm 6-3.
That's what happens when you rely on one player. I mean, I've been trying to tell you. And okay, this is a discussion for another day. So Derrick Henry did not play, correct? And what did his team do in LA?
I can't hear you. You're breaking out. So our next subject is gonna be.
No, I'm not breaking up, was I? You just don't want to admit it.
I will.
He's overrated.
He's not. But next year I will still draft Derrick Henry.
He's not gonna get hurt in a row, right?
No, he's gonna come back before this season too, dude. He's an animal. I promise you. He'll come back before 6 weeks.
Better hope he doesn't get re-injured
He's
this year.
gonna come right back in playoffs.
If he comes back in 6 weeks, I'm going to tell you right now, he's going to get re-injured. I don't want him to, but if he comes back in 6 weeks, he's going to get re-injured.
Yeah. So what other things have you been noticing weeks 1 through 9? Quarterbacks, running backs, receivers. What's caught your eye? Because I can say a couple things. Quarterbacks, I feel like, are all over the place. You can't rely on them. Like, who would have thought the most reliable quarterback in fantasy right now would be Tom Brady and Carson Wentz? Carson Wentz has been super reliable in fantasy.
Let me see. Yeah, Carson Wentz is a top 10 fantasy quarterback right now.
But who would have thought?
To be fair, he's number 10, but yeah, I wouldn't have thought. That is insane.
I mean, go look at the QB rankings, and I guarantee you, if we pulled up our preseason ranks, they were a little bit different.
I might be able to do that real quick, but we don't have time. That's for another day if you want.
I'm curious. I'm gonna just go look at the top 10 quarterbacks.
Currently, yeah. So Tom Brady is number 1 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Is number 2.
Matt Ryan, number 3. Like who?
Oh, are you? Yeah, I'm on.
Sleeper.
I'm on averages, not. Yeah, but I'm on average, season average.
Oh, my bad. Not week 9. I'm
points.
on week 9. Here's season.
Yeah.
I'm doing season total points. So that's my bad. Matthew Stafford's number 3. Like who would have thought that? Jalen Hurts is actually number 2 in fantasy.
Well, Jalen Hurts is
that's why you picked average.
Well, yeah. Well, obviously the last 2 weeks, he's not been good.
Yeah.
He's still obviously running the ball well because, like I said,
but
he's a running back.
If you would have told me week 1 that by week 9, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Herbert and Kyler Murray would be 5, 6, 7, 8, I would have told you you're full of it.
Can I? I think I might have. Oh yeah, because we both had Josh Allen
1 and
really
2
high.
Murray was our 3. I had Lamar at 5 or 4, but Jalen Hurts wasn't up there. Neither was Tom Brady. Tom Brady was like 12.
So I can tell you right now, my top 5 fantasy quarterbacks were coming into the season were Mahomes, Josh Allen, Kyler, Dak, and then Herbert.
Yeah, so
and
all wrong.
Quick look is only one of those is actually in the top 5, and that's Josh Allen. Yeah, and I had him at number 2. I mean, he's number 5. But if he didn't have a stinker last week, he probably is.
I'm just saying, like, who would have thought?
But that's just that's just how fantasy football is. You can do all this deep dive, you can have all this knowledge about it, but they got to play the games. You have no control over it once the season actually starts.
No, I agree. That's one thing I actually was going to do today's show. I was going to call up one of our good friends and see if he answers. We're going to do a surprise call.
Now?
Yeah, he's a big fan of the show, and he's 2-7. So you can kind of take a guess.
Oh man!
We're gonna ask him because we're talking about how the year's gone.
You got to make sure he's aware that this is a family.
No,
friendly show.
it's gonna be just a surprise.
He might be a little busy right now, you know.
And we're gonna just talk about how he's 2-7. Because who would have thought he made the championship last year? I mean,
he did, and he actually was talking big trash at the beginning of the year too.
Let me know if you can hear him.
I can hear you.
Well, can you hear the phone ringing?
Not yet.
He probably won't answer. He knows we're about to call him out.
He might be a little busy, like I said.
This is Colin Crawford with Fort Stone. I wasn't able to answer the phone,
I hear him.
but if you leave your name and the number, I'll give you a call back as soon as possible. Thanks.
We'll leave him a voicemail.
At the tone.
He didn't answer?
No.
When you have
That was his
finished
voicemail?
recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more
What are you gonna
options.
say?
Hey, Colin. This is Justin and Cameron here from Cave Chatter. We were just calling to reach out to you, talk to you about your how your fantasy season's going. I'm sure by the time you listen to this podcast, you'll hear this part. So, give us a call.
Hey, ask him how those 2 L's tasted from me.
I already hung up.
Oh, well, he knows. He knows. I'm 4-5, and 2 of my wins are against him, so I hope I get to play him again soon.
I get to play JR this week, so that's gonna be fun. 1-2.
I don't even know. Oh, I get to play Brooks this week. Nice. What
does that mean?
Traded away. It means he's traded away his entire team. That's what it means.
Yeah.
And so I feel pretty good about my matchup.
But
That's all I mean by that.
Man. I don't know where we were now because you just threw me all off. We were talking about this week's 1-9, how it's been crazy. Quarterbacks, how the whole rankings have reversed. Running backs going down. I mean, honestly, this whole year, I know has shot a lot of people in the foot. Like, there's teams, like in our Yahoo League, there's teams that have unreal rosters, and they're 3-5. Like, you're completely frozen. Can you hear me? All right, we're gonna
Thinking
get
of just receivers specifically.
You were completely frozen.
Me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. I was about
there we go.
I was about to recall you back.
I was just saying that this year I feel like there's been a lot of guys who kind of snuck up and have become really, really good fantasy players.
Cooper Kupp.
I'm immediately thinking of Cooper Kupp.
Did you see the thing about Cooper Kupp about his dad?
Yes, that's incredible.
How every year they let him draft him in fantasy, but now it's a free for all.
After this year, he's no longer allowed to get Cooper Kupp for free.
Which I thought, I also saw something. I thought NFL players couldn't play fantasy football.
They can. They can't put money on it.
Yeah, but there has to be some kind of rule, like, in between your league, like, hey, if I'm playing against myself, you can't start me. Like, they gotta do something. What if you lose
NFL players?
Yeah, what if you lose your own game because you went off?
Hugs. I mean, I said, that's why they're not allowed to play for money. So
I would still make it a rule, like, hey, you can't start me against myself. Or we make a rule.
I wouldn't agree to that.
Or we make it a rule every first round you have to draft yourself. If you're an offensive player, that'd be cool.
Ooh. If you're confident in yourself.
Yeah. But
if you have a bad year, you're kind of screwed there because that's a wasted first round pick. You know, there's only about 20 players that it applies to, and it would actually work out fine.
Yeah. Oh no, that's not Colin. That's someone else.
Calling you back?
Yeah, it's someone else.
Oh, well.
Just
So
my
like I
dad.
was saying,
I'll call him back later.
there's been some players, who have, and Cooper Kupp. I won't even say Cooper Kupp has come out of nowhere because I've had him in our dynasty league. I had him the last 4 seasons, and 2 years ago he was a top 5 fantasy player.
Who would you say had Debo?
Yeah, so Cooper Kupp, Debo for sure, and then the biggest no-brainer is Cordero Patterson. I mean, what the heck
And
is up with that guy?
who called that?
Did I say something about him?
No,
Maybe?
I did. And again, if you go back to episode probably, what week is this? This is 9.
It was during the season.
Yeah, it was
so
week 4.
It was not a preseason prediction.
I picked him up and said,
But you did. It was very early.
I said it's time for him to go off. Next game. It was when Ridley went down, and y'all all said it's Pitt's time, but really it was Cordero time.
Well, it should have been Pitt's time.
And now
Pitts has been good.
But I missed out on him in 2 leagues. Got him in the other 2 leagues. While I was adding him in one league, someone else added him in the other league. So, but I did have him in like 6 leagues, and I dropped him like in 3 of them before he went hot.
Cordero?
Yeah, because it was I picked him up for somebody I needed, but it was like week 1.
Well, just for some context, in our friend league, it's 8 teams. Cooper Kupp was drafted in the 7th round. Debo Samuel was drafted in the 12th round. And
Cordero was undrafted.
Cordero Patterson was undrafted.
Yeah.
And they're all top 10 fantasy players right now.
The same team has... No, one team has 2 of them.
And Aaron has Kupp and Patterson. That's why he's freaking unreal. Kupp, Patterson, Kamara, Zeke, Lamar. I don't understand how.
One thing I will say, when next season starts, I did shoot myself in the foot this year by...
And he has Marquise Brown. Wow,
I shot myself in the foot this year by dropping people too soon. Like, there were nobodies. So, I'm just going to drop them.
Dynasty?
No, in any league.
Oh, yeah.
Just like my bench. I was like, and then 2 weeks later, they're top 5 running back. Like,
yeah, that's always tough because... you
overthink it, and you got that. You're antsed up for week 1, like you're ready to go. And it's like I can't tell you how many people I dropped that are going off right.
It's also league dependent. Like how many bench spots do you have in your league? Like, luckily in our dynasty league we have 10, 11 bench spots.
Yeah. Key example.
Not counting.
Key example in our Yahoo league, I dropped James Conner because I had Chase Edmonds and it was week 1, and I was like, you know what, Chase is gonna do it. So I dropped James Conner and that bit me in the butt.
Yeah, I mean that's another weird. I mean, obviously now with the injury to Edmonds, that's a big drop, but. You had no way of knowing that he was...
Exactly.
That's another thing. He's a new player on a new team. You really have no way of knowing that because he's become the de facto goal line back, really, for them. Mm-hmm. He leads the NFL in touchdowns.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you drop the touchdown leader in the NFL.
I did pick up Allen Robinson today, though. I think people gave up on him too soon. So.
I'm in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 now because I'm kicked out of my guillotine league.
Oh, you finally lost? You didn't tell me that.
Yeah, I lost a couple weeks ago. Just my team was underperforming. I had James Conner in that league too, so that kind of sucked. But Allen Robinson, I have him in 6 of 7 leagues. Like, I was so high on Allen Robinson.
He had his best weekend this week.
He did, and my boy Justin Fields is finally, hopefully, going to make me look good because I had Justin Fields as the number 1 quarterback, and I said it wasn't going to be close in our preseason rankings. So I need him to continue to play. He's looked a lot better the last 2 weeks because he was god-awful before that. Mm-hmm. He'd been awful before that. But last couple weeks, he's looked really good.
Well, I picked up Allen Robinson in my 14-team league. And
Yeah, it just makes sense though that the two of them could help each other out, right?
oh, for sure.
Like I was starting to think I was going crazy.
And Montgomery's back. That changes everything. That changes the dynamic of the offense. Gives them more options. I mean, yeah, they have Herbert, but that's not David Montgomery.
Well, listen to this. In the years that Allen Robinson has played all 16 games, he's had 4 seasons where he's played all 16 games. Obviously, this is before they changed to 17. But those 4 seasons, 3 of them he finished as a top 10 fantasy wide receiver.
Yeah, that's why I don't understand why somebody would drop him.
Colin.
No, I picked him. He dropped him too.
In our dynasty league, that dude is crazy.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he's slowly becoming our taco. But
Yeah.
like I said, I was starting to almost lose my mind because I was so bullish that Allen Robinson and Justin Fields were going to make each other better, and that that Allen Robinson was going to be
Justin
a sleeper
Field,
top 10 pick.
It doesn't help that their coach is just
That dude,
awful.
no offensive line either. I mean, and then you saw last night, no help from the refs. The dude's getting killed out there.
Yeah.
They're just acting like nothing's happening.
Yeah, I get that. But I appreciate you taking the time to get online tonight and get this set up. I really do think this is going to be a good thing for Cave Chatter for sure.
Well, how long have we been going so far?
3 right now or for Cave Chatter? Cave Chatter's been 3 months.
No. Tonight.
Probably like 35 minutes.
I can go. I've got something that actually. Well, what's today? Tomorrow's the waiver wire.
No,
Here, I've got
spit it
some.
out. Share some
I've
knowledge.
I've got just real quick 3 players who I think you should add if they're available, and most of these are available in over 50% of leagues. So that's kind of like where we're looking here. Elijah Moore, running back, wide receiver for the Jets. He last week just finished he just had he had the most points from any fantasy wide receiver last week.
Yeah.
He
also has a quarterback problem.
I mean, apart from Zach Wilson, the quarterbacks that have come in there have played really well. You know, it's like Zach Wilson is his problem.
Yeah.
He's done really well with Mike White and then Josh Johnson.
I liked Josh Johnson a lot. He looked good.
Well, I'm not going to call you out right here in front of everybody, but you maybe forgot who Josh Johnson was.
I did.
But anyway, so he had a career-high 7 catches, career-high 87 yards. He also scored his first 2 touchdowns of his career. Now, the big key is that prior to this past week, even though he'd been on the field a lot, prior to this past week, he hadn't been over 60% of the snaps since week 2. Mm-hmm. And last week, he finally, because they have Jamison Crowder, he finally was the number 2 receiver in terms of snap count and in terms of routes run. Mm-hmm. So I look to Elijah Moore. He's a really good player. He's a rookie, so obviously week by week you got to look at it as he's going to be gaining experience. But the fact that he's just available in so many leagues, it's not going to hurt to stash him on the end of your bench. There's got to be somebody on your team who you're holding out on who's not going to be doing anything, and he has so much potential upside in that offense. They're always going to be down.
I would say
always going to be needing to throw the ball to score points.
I would just say he has a very high ceiling, but the floor might collapse underneath him very fast.
Yes, he might have a low floor if Zach Wilson comes back in and doo-doos the bed again. But I really like Eli, and again, it goes back to he's got a good schedule going forward in terms of defenses and their points given up to wide receivers.
Yeah.
So that's one right there. Another one real quick, if you haven't already, Desean Jackson. That dude is an instant I think even just it's for the upside. Who knows who knows what he's going to do? What was that?
Keep going. I'll add on to that.
I was going to say, who knows what the heck he's going to do in Vegas. But
Probably gamble.
well, I hope not. Henry Ruggs, not to talk about him too much. He was actually he was the best deep threat, obviously, on that Raiders offense.
Mm-hmm.
Not much difference between, obviously him and Desean Jackson are very similar types of receivers. They're deep downhill threats. So if Desean Jackson, that's why they signed him, is because there was an obvious need. Having lost that receiver there, they needed to sign him in order to have a big play threat down the field to keep defenses honest.
Yeah.
Like Desean Jackson, he's 30-something years old.
I think he's 36.
He's still fast.
Yeah.
He still gets downfield,
Yeah, I agree. What I was going to add on to that was, I was going to let our listeners know, literally Sunday, me and Cameron are watching football. We're sitting next to each other here in the cave, and my phone goes off. It alerts me. I'm really looking there staring at it. I look at Cameron like I'm like smirking. Like I'm like, oh, this is it. I go and click Desean Jackson. I'm literally scrolling as I'm watching football, thinking about who should I drop. I want to make a smart drop, right? Next thing you know, freaking whatever your team name is, Jackson, or what was your team name?
The Jonathan Taylor Fan Club.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor Fan Club picks up Desean Jackson, literally right next to me. And I just literally threw my phone down.
You showed me your screen too. You literally were on the
drop,
pick a player to drop screen.
Oh man!
Look, especially in our Yahoo league, there's bonuses for 40-yard plays.
That's how you know That's just how you know we think alike when it comes to fantasy, because we both didn't want to tell each other because we knew.
Well, that's the kicker, is that I had just read a tweet saying that Desean
I read the
Jackson
same tweet.
told somebody that he was signing with the Raiders, and I literally had turned to Justin and made a noise. And then thought to my head, wait, let me go add him first, then I'll say it. And I went, I was about to tell you it, and I was like, maybe not. And then I just went and added him instead.
Oh, man, I was so mad. I just didn't know who to drop. It was tough.
I don't even know who I dropped. I don't even care who I dropped. I think I dropped Brandon Ayuk.
My bench is deep, so.
Yeah, well, I'm 8-1, so I don't care. But
yes, pick up Desean Jackson.
And then my very last one, and then we could shut it down. I'm going to keep saying this because it's starting to happen and it's starting to come true. Pick up Rashad Bateman.
I already picked him up in all of our leagues.
Rashad Bateman this past week had a career high in targets. A career high in receptions.
Yes, he did.
The dude, it was one of those things. I didn't realize he was going to be, look that big next to NFL players, but he's a legit 6'2", 200, 220, Mm-hmm. He's a big guy. I'm so bullish on this guy. He's going to be so good. And he's only played in 3 games in his career. And he's had 6 targets, 8 targets. Mm-hmm. That's a good amount of target shares in that offense. With Lamar Jackson, they like to run the ball a lot.
Yes,
so
yeah.
If he's going to be getting a lot of targets, he's a very good receiver. He's a big body receiver, so I do think they're going to start to add him a lot in goal line packages.
Yeah.
Because right now they've been taking him slow. He's only been about 65 snap percentage so far, 65% of snaps. I think that's going to start to increase as the weeks go on, as we get later into the year. Obviously, we know he missed the majority of the start of the season with his groin injury, which really screwed me because he was my number 1 fantasy sleeper for the season.
Yeah.
So I still think he's going to, and that's not just me. If you read other fantasy breakdowns, other fantasy news sites, a lot of people are high on Rashad Bateman.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I'm the first, but you at least know that I've been saying this since the beginning, so I still believe it.
Well, I believe you too.
And he's available in currently over 75% of ESPN leagues.
Mm-hmm.
He's available. He's actually in Sleeper. It looks like he's rostered quite a bit heavier in Sleeper.
That's because Sleeper's mainly Dynasty players, I feel like.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Sleeper's the best app for Dynasty.
Yeah.
But
go
ahead and get him.
I would agree with you on that one. I am going to go ahead and lay out, I like doing this, my bold predictions for the week. I've been hit or miss. I feel like I've hit more than I've missed this season when it comes to players. Obviously, I will apologize to every fan out there that if you picked up Derek Gore, and I will apologize. If it makes you feel better, I lost to Cameron because of Derek Gore.
I almost lost because I picked up and started Derek Gore in a very, very deep.
But I will strike out on that one. But I have been good. Cordero.
I did trust you.
I picked Cordero. I picked who else was it?
Do you want to know something?
Yeah.
I actually started it. Like I said, this was in a deep dynasty, like the bench is 15 players long dynasty league. Mm-hmm. I started Derek Gore over James Conner because you were so high on him.
I thought he was going to do it. And I think he could have. He just didn't get the touches.
Luckily, I won by 2 points, but if I had Connor in, it would have been much more comfortable.
Week 8, when I told everybody to start Cobb, he went off.
That's true.
Cordero
Patterson,
week 5.
Yeah.
So, I've been hit or miss.
You're going to have your misses.
So, my big, bold prediction is going to be, let's see. I don't want to mispronounce his name. I have him on my team.
I thought you were making it up right now. I was like,
no, I have him on my team. There's too many D's. Is it Deonta Foreman for the Titans?
Oh, Deontay. What do you mean? From Texas?
Yeah, but I didn't want to pronounce his name well. So
yeah, Deontay.
He had, I think, 5 carries for 25 yards last week?
Yeah,
he looked solid running the football. I'm going to go ahead and make a bold prediction that
that's Devontae Freeman. Sorry, keep going.
I am going to go ahead and predict that he gets at least 65 yards and a touchdown. I wouldn't say start him. I'm going to say stash him on your bench and see how it goes. I don't know how
bold prediction.
I don't know how much they're going to use McNichols after watching this last game.
Man, I really like.
And Adrian obviously isn't going to get that many touches. I think that kind of just shows you what they think of McNichols. That they don't like.
They went and signed. They went and signed Adrian Peterson. They went and signed Deontay Foreman, and they both come in here and I just don't.
He just doesn't fit their scheme.
So yeah, I also am. The fact that they brought in 2 running backs over him. Yeah, I said last week, take a flyer on him. You can throw that flyer away. There's no need for it. You don't need it anymore.
Yeah. My bold prediction, obviously, I sucked on Derek Gore, so I'm going to make up for my fans. Deonta Foreman. I'm probably going to sit him this week. But if you're in a position where your running backs are on a bye, I would say stick him in there and see what he does. Because I do have a good feeling about him. Who knows? By Sunday, I might end up starting him. That's usually how I go. So
yeah, you probably will. What do you mean, might?
Yeah, I ended up switching Jordan Howard out for Derek Gore. So I get it. Last thing I got for the show, since we don't have a cave nugget today.
Oh, boo! Everybody boo! Everybody turn it off right now because
I have we can't have a cave nugget every show. I got it for every kind of different.
Yeah, we can.
No,
yes, we can. Yes, we can.
For every kind of different show, we're gonna have a different thing. So now.
Oh, I see. Sorry, I'm not gonna cut you off anymore.
Yeah.
Let you keep talking.
So for this show, I'm gonna ask you a question, and in the future, I'm gonna just poke around and get some different, maybe some different feedback, maybe some questions for Cam, from fans and stuff. So my question is, if you had one player to watch the rest of your life on your fantasy football team, who would you pick? Let's say for the next 10 years, you can only watch one player.
And they have to be
on your
somebody who's
on your
currently on my team.
and you can't watch any other football game.
I think you already know my answer. Justin Herbert.
I was not going to pick that.
Why would I want to watch anybody else?
I thought you were going to pick Chubb for sure.
Yeah, you know,
Oh.
I'm kind of over Chubb. I'm on to Jonathan Taylor now.
So let's
He's my
say
guy.
So let's say for the next 5 years, because obviously running backs don't. But you really,
Yeah,
Justin Herbert.
Yes, dude. You don't watch him like I watch him.
I'm not going to comment on that.
I watch him and I admire the way he plays football. He's such a good quarterback.
But
He just I'm not gonna.
But that's going to
make
be
myself sound weird.
every now and then. I'll have some questions like that for you, but I'm going to get some people's
If not him, then I would say Jonathan Taylor.
for the rest.
Well,
of your life.
I don't want to watch Jonathan Taylor that much because I'm just going to be pissed off about how much they use Naheem Hines over him.
So you never get to watch the Cowboys again.
Yeah, I thought about picking Amari Cooper just so I could watch the Cowboys, and I didn't think about it fully enough. So I'm a Chargers fan now, I guess.
I would definitely pick. You already know.
Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Have fun watching somebody run into a 8-man box for a 1-yard gain every play.
Yeah, but
Then break off a 70-yard run out of nowhere.
that's what I like.
Fun.
That's what I like. I'm go home, go big or go home. So, but also, I think this show went good. I think it went better than it was. Other than you having, what do you have, like broadband connection?
Yeah, I've got the Shaq wireless. That's what I've got going on out here. But don't worry. That's what in these times is what everybody does. It's part of doing business.
I've
these
never even
days.
heard of the Shaq wireless.
Oh, it's not a real thing.
Oh,
I made that up. That's why.
well, you need to call AT&T get the hookup,
Yeah, maybe next time. We'll see.
or dial. You
It
probably still have dial up.
probably doesn't help that I'm using 3 different devices right now, and doing video on Discord, and then have a microphone, a headset, and a camera plugged into my laptop.
Cam has a camera.
This laptop, this stupid HP laptop's not meant to process this much at once. I need to take some money out of the business account and buy me a PC.
It's kind of like when Dak steps back. He can only process one receiver at a time.
You don't watch football. You
He
just
hasn't-
told everybody that you don't watch football. So that's embarrassing for you.
All right. Well, once again, we thank you for tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. If you're on Spotify, make sure you like us and follow us. Help us get where we want to be. We truly appreciate it. We want to
We'll
make
lift
sure.
you up along the way.
Yes, we want to make sure that we give y'all everything you need, and we're going to start producing more content because that's what the fans have asked. And next time, Colin will answer the phone.
Yeah, you better.
He just texted me and said he fell asleep. So
Yeah, okay. I know why
he got scared. So, anyways,
a little sleepy.
thank you for tuning in to Cave Chatter. I'm Justin.
I'm Cameron.
A little delay there.
Yeah, I didn't know that's what we were doing. Sorry. Just say bye. Just tell it bye.
Later.